just get the screen share going here. There we go. So just overview, I'll do an intro, done an intro, and Beacon basics and best practices, Beacon troubleshooting, dashboard overview, and setting up a campaign. Easy as that. So the hope is that there's something for everybody. If you're more interested in learning about beacons or learning about beacon platforms, ours in particular, I won't be offended if you don't up for either half. So, our beacons. Just pull the slide up. Beacons. A beacon is an indoor positioning system described by Apple as a new class of low-powered, low-cost transmitters that can notify nearby iOS 7 or 8 devices of their presence. It also is working on Android and other devices now as well. But the technology basically just enables a smartphone or other device to perform actions when in close proximity to an iBeacon. Unlike the Bluetooth in the past, which was a vampire for energy, these take just a few percentage points a day. So who's using them? Well, some big brands like Virgin Airways, Starbucks, McDonald's. Yeah, they're jumping on this new technology. And many know beacons for their retail functionality, but there's a lot of small to mid-sized businesses that have gotten creative with beacons in 2014 and are doing so in 2015 as well. They're very popular at events in museums, at sports teams, on the metro, at zoos. And so they're not just for retail. And the more people see them in everyday life, the more common that they'll be in retail as well. So just to kind of share some beacon statistics here. That only 10% of brands had tested thus far. 37% of big retailers in the US will launch by the end of this year. Forbes.com noted that beacons will be involved with 4 of the 5 trends all brands will be using by 2020. These are showrooming, which is basically sending out information to entertain visitors, much like museums, as well as analytics, mobile payment, and finally, even as a sales assistant. So also, Business Insider expects beacons to directly influence over $4 billion worth of US retail sales this year at top retailers, and that number will climb tenfold in 2016. And that's just in the US. So we have clients all over the world, in 23 different countries. So other markets will be seeing them heavily as well. So why are they so exciting, besides those stats? There's just so many different ways they can be used. You can send a coupon to attendees that follow you on Twitter and are in your sports stadium section. You can prompt the first chapter of your best-selling book at a book signing event as soon as your potential client enters the bookstore. You can give your visitors your contact V card 10 minutes after leaving your conference room. Pizza Hut, for example, then you order pizzas from your car dashboard, and when you get into the parking lot, a beacon in your car notifies the employees that you're there. Starwood Hotels is giving you Bluetooth entry to rooms via the Apple Watch. So there's just a lot of exciting uses, and we'll be seeing them more and more. As with any new technology, there are some concerns, from security to privacy to spamming, and of course, users have to be using your app and have Bluetooth turned on, which many outside the US still do not. So how can we implement them effectively despite some of these drawbacks? Well, don't send 1,000 messages, and yeah, don't send obvious spam with no benefits. Always make sure to be giving value. You can also educate about Bluetooth Low Energy. Like I was saying, it's not a vampire anymore. It takes about 2 to 5% of battery power if turned on for 24 hours. And also educate about privacy. Building an application with privacy in mind is really important, and not only having the benefits, but showing that you're not just taking data as well. I can dig more into that at the end near the FAQ section. Finally, rather than building internally with developers who've never used beacons before, choose a platform that takes privacy and security seriously. Some things you want to ask is what platform it's built on. Is there a REST API? what type of authentication system they use, how they check for bugs, how often they're updating it. Just make sure you know the platform that you're using before digging yourself too deep. Okay, so that's the beacon overview. Just check to see if there's any questions here. No, nothing so far. Again, and if you can't see the question tab, raise your hand and I'll be able to see that. So, beacon troubleshooting. Sometimes it can be really discouraging if your beacon isn't working, and I just wanted to give you some troubleshooting tips before we begin. In general, one or several of these is the culprit, but sometimes it can be the beacons themselves. You want to be working with a well-known beacon manufacturer that suits your needs. We can recommend several based on your location and needs. I can kind of leave you to this, but yeah, this will be in the email, and you can just kind of read through them when you're setting up your campaign. So, MovingTrack's dashboard overview. There's 5 elements. We tried to keep it to use. Campaigns configure the interactions that will happen on the user's device. Points configure the interest points where the beacons will be installed. Reports get information and monitor their campaigns. Profile configure the main settings. Wake up devices, which sends a signal to all mobiles with the app installed to download. Simple. So, setting up a campaign. First, set up your beacons. See this troubleshooting guide, and make sure actually, yes, I do want to note to make sure that the UUID, the dashboard matches the UUID of the beacon. It's really easy to have the beacon not match the UUID. And also, just to note, we use just one UUID. It's a good beacon best practice, and you can distinguish the beacons based on the major and the minor. Make sure those are correct as well. So, the next step after you have your beacons is create a zone and assign a point to a zone. So let me just pull up our dashboard so you can get a look at this. There we are. All right, so this is the start page. So the first step is to create a zone and assign a point to a zone. Each point needs to have at least one beacon, but you can have more if you want to cover a bigger area or at specific points of interest. You can create the points and zones in the points section. The points are grouped into zones. Assigning a point to a zone is mandatory, and it'll help you find the points when creating a campaign. Each zone can be linked to a geographical area or fence, and this allows for battery saving both for the beacons and the user's devices, as the beacons won't be listened to if the user is not close to the area to be set up. So let's do that now. Points. See, we have a lot here, but we'll create a zone right now. Zone name, Barcelona demo. So it's good to have the zone be fairly large, especially when testing. That's been an issue before. Not too big, but yeah. This is on the safe side, so we'll save this zone. We'll create a point. New points. BCN demo point. Point zone. Barcelona demo zone. And I am using an iPhone actually as the beacon emitter. And the major and the minor are both 1. Save point. Okay, so step 2 done. So next, create your campaign. So I just go to the campaign section, click on new campaign, name, hi there, start dates, just yesterday to be safe, tomorrow. Don't have an NFC tag, but you can use NFC with our platform. We'll do once every 1 minute. Delivering the background if you'd like to. Triggers. So on visit, you can have a number of different triggers. This just means when they're visiting. If they follow you at a certain time, if they haven't visited certain points, you can target specific customers to. So there's a number of different ways you can, when their device is near the phone, this triggers an action. So we'll add an action. And yeah, 16 different actions. So you can see there's a lot you can do here. You can even visit a URL, so you can even customize it further. You can even go to a different application if you want to, like call a taxi or turn on a flashlight. Visit social profile, play a video. There's a lot of flexibility with this. But we'll just keep it very simple. Just show an alert. Hi there. How are you? And that is it. Finish. Save and activate. Select the zone. There's no demo zone. No, actually, yeah, so we'll do it. So this is geofence. You can also link the points there. Extremely far, and yeah, that's it. Finish. Save and activate campaign. And there you have it. Campaign is launched. Just see if I can show you what it's going to look like. And here it is right here. Let me just pull up the video for a quick second. You can see it, hopefully. Just a simple message, hi there, how are you today? That's it. Okay. So, yeah, the last step is analyze the data and improve for next time. So you always want to be making sure you're getting good ROI on these, and we have very good system for reporting. See the points, the zones, the visits, the coupons sent, and if you do a survey, you have the survey answers too. So make sure you keep good track of the data, and if you can see any improvements, go for it. Just a few additional notes here. You can now use geofence with the platform, and like I said, a geofence is a geographical zone, so you don't actually need to have beacons to do these campaigns or NFC tags. You can just set a zone. It's not as precise as beacons, but yeah, you have that possibility. You can just send a campaign pretty much anywhere in the world and use the phone's GPS to send the message. You can also use GitHub to create a application with HTML and our platform works with that too. You code it once and it works for all devices. And as I was saying earlier, protecting user privacy is really important to us, and it should be to any platform. And there's a couple different ways that platforms can do this. For us, we don't track the MAC addresses, which are the unique identifiers in every phone that they're used to connect to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth peripherals. We also don't implement the Apple IDFA nor Google Ad ID. So we use a custom ID that expires every time that the user deletes a brand's app. Plus, we don't allow brands to track, basically. Yeah. So just essentially, we don't allow brands to track you unless you approve as a user. Well, that is all I have. So just to go to any questions, this is the FAQ time. Just take a look at the questions now. If you have any questions, just type them in there. Oh, I see one. What is Wake Up Devices? Wake Up Devices. Here. Wake Up Devices are basically a button that allows the user handling a campaign to send a signal to all the mobiles with the app installed to download new campaign content. Any changes made up at that moment will be stored in the user's caches. And yeah, basically, Apple put in some limits in the communication system used to make this functionality possible for iOS, but it can be used once every 24 hours. So we use a special iOS feature called Silent Push Notifications, and you need to ask Apple for a certificate and paste it into the profile section if you want to use it for iOS. Good question. Any other questions? Well, I'll give another 30 seconds or so. So, if there's no other questions, I guess we can close out. If you do have any questions, I'm available at jordan@movingtracks.io anytime. And yeah, I do see another question actually. Yeah, basically it just updates the content on their phone. You don't want to do this unless you really know what you're doing, but yeah, it basically just updates everything that they've got on their phone currently. Yeah. Well, it's been great, and again, if you have any questions, reach out, and thanks for being here, thanks for the time. And like I said, we do offer a 1 month free for webinar attendees, and that will be in your email tomorrow. So thank you, and cuidate. Take care.